The Amendments of the Constitution. 16th Amendment. The 16th Amendment, where Congress shall have power to lay and collect taxes on incomes from whatever sources derived, without apportionment among the several states, and without regard to any census or numeration. The amendment was ratified by one state legislator after another, and on February 25, 1913, with the certification by Secretary of State Philander C. Knox, the 16th Amendment took effect. The one who worked towards this amendment was President William Howard. This amendment was needed because the financial requirements of the Civil War prompted the American income tax in 1861, and conservatives, hoping to kill the idea for good, proposed a constitutional amendment enacting such a tax. They believed an amendment would never receive ratification by 3/4 of states. The problem with this amendment was that it established the federal differences existing between direct taxes and indirect taxes. The amendment states that certain income taxes be considered as an excise and direct tax. However, with regard to property rental and interest were considered to be direct taxes. Although such taxes were removed under the jurisdiction of the federal government, the overall effect of this amendment was that it gives the federal government the right to collect income taxes. The 17th Amendment of the Constitution called for the direct election of senators by the voters instead of their election by state legislators. This amendment was passed by Congress on May 13, 1912, and ratified April 8, 1913. The reasons why this amendment was needed was because the concept of senator elections through a popular vote was being implemented by certain states. Also, by 1910, almost 2/3 of the United States had implemented the practice of senatorial elections through popular vote, which under Article 5 of the U.S. Constitution allows for the creation of a convention to propose amendments, pressuring Congress to propose an amendment. Obstacles were being faced, such as the race rider, which meant to bar federal intervention in cases of racial discrimination amongst voters, which was needed to be done by vesting complete control of Senate elections and state governments. In this amendment, the governor shall appoint or fill temporary vacancies until new elections are held. The overall impact of this amendment was that it ended corruption because the senators are now elected by and held accountable to the citizens of their state. Amendment. The 18th Amendment of the United States Constitution prohibits manufacturing, selling, or distribution of alcoholic beverages. Historical background. Before the 18th Amendment was ratified, there had been big conflict with alcohol. People argued that alcohol made men poor, violent, and caused tragedies. The 18th Amendment was pushed mainly by the temperance movement, with who the majority of the participants were women. In other words, the temperance movement was a group of social reformers who argued that alcohol caused many problems. The 18th Amendment faced some obstacles. It took a whole organization to protest the temperance movement against the use of alcohol, and it did not address major issues. The 18th Amendment took about 394 days to get ratified. The 19th Amendment. The 19th Amendment allows women to vote because the right cannot be denied because of gender. This amendment was ratified on August 18, 1920. Second Amendment. The 22nd Amendment set a limit of 2 terms as President of the United States. The historical background of this amendment was that after having a Democratic president serve for 13 years, Republicans finally gained majority in the House and Senate. Both houses passed the 22nd Amendment so that the president could not longer serve for more than 2 years. The obstacles faced while this amendment was being passed was that the president could not longer serve for more than 2 years as terms. The time it took to ratify was that it took 7 years for it to be ratified. The impact of this amendment was that it limited the president to serve for only 2 terms, which was a good thing for the senators. Sixth Amendment. This amendment allowed the age of 18 and above to vote and old. The historical background of this amendment was that there had long been a debate whether the age for voting should be reduced from 21 to 18, since young men were being drafted to the war but derived the right to vote. The different people or groups that worried towards the amendment, the young men who wanted to be allowed to vote just like they were having to go to war at 18. The obstacles faced while this amendment was being passed was that Congress could not regulate the age for voting at the state and local levels. The time it took to ratify, it took about 3 months and 8 days to be ratified after it was submitted for ratification. The impact of this amendment was that the age was lowered from 21 to 18, old enough to fight, old enough to vote.